welcome to Top 5 Nintendo, where we give you top 5 lists for all things Nintendo. I'm your host today. I'm Sam. My co-host here is Jake. How are you doing today, Jake?
Hello. I'm doing fantastic.
That's lovely to hear. Well, today we will be discussing Nintendo mascots, main characters, whatever you would like to call it. This is your Marios and Luigis. Basically the faces of Nintendo. I mean, there's so many good ones. Some are more popular than others. Jake, what is your relationship with the mascots? Do you have any plushies in your room?
No plushies yet. Might. I mentioned to you a little bit ago, I went to Jersey Shore and they had like these like Pokemon and like Mario everywhere, just little plushies, and they were so cute but very expensive. So I didn't pick any up, but I might eventually. They are cute. But otherwise, I mean, growing up, Mario's Nintendo, but nowadays we're seeing like people relate a little bit to Kirby and relate a little bit to Link. Maybe not on the same grand scale as Mario quite yet, but I don't know. Like, I mean, there's even the whole Mario gets killed by Nintendo theory at the end of like the 35th anniversary.
I did not hear about that. What is that?
Well, pretty much like at the end of the anniversary that they ended all like the special anniversary sales, like All Stars and the Game & Watch we were just talking about. So people were like saying they're straight up just murdering Mario right now. Nintendo essentially killed Mario at the end of the anniversary. That was like one last hurrah for Mario, and he's non-existent now. Obviously, like that was a big joke, but
interesting.
Mario is alive and well. I hope so.
Unless he's been replaced like Paul McCartney and the Beatles.
That'd be a good one.
It's secretly a different Mario now, and we won't know until it's too late.
The return of Jumpman killed him and took his spot.
Exactly. Well, now I'm going to tell you my story about, you were talking about how you saw the Pikachus at the Jersey Shore. I was at Universal Studios. I think I was like 13 years old, and there was a game, like one of those, like you shoot a basketball, but the hoop is too small type game.
Yeah.
And I was spending a lot of my parents' money because I really wanted to get the top prize, which was this gigantic Pikachu. The Pikachu was like bigger than my upper body, literally. Like it was, I'm not even going to give the dimensions. It was just very big. But it was like impossible because the hoop was so high and you could see it was bent. Sometimes they do like the
oval shape.
Yes. But this one was like visibly bent. And I gave it a couple tries and I was like, yeah, this is, I wish I wanted to just buy it. I'm pretty sure they wouldn't let me just give them $20 for it. So
they're not supposed to.
Exactly. So I was ready to call it quits, and I was like, it's Universal. Like if I don't get the giant Pikachu, it's not the end of the day. But there's this, right when I was about to give up, there's this very tall man who pulls up like very confidently, with his girlfriend, and he's talking himself up to his girlfriend, and he's like, oh, like watch me like get all three of these in, like I'm gonna get the top prize. And so I'm watching him, like he's a presence at this setup, and he gives like the $5. He gets 3 balls. Boom, like swishes one. He does like a jump back fadeaway shot, swishes it. And I was like, this isn't even a real basketball. Like, how are you prepared to do that? You know what I mean? Yeah.
It was like 20 feet tall and all that.
Yeah, it was so high. And he's swishing. This is not even real basketball. This is like, it's not even a sport. Swishes the second one.
Nice.
And I'm pretty sure he got like all 3 and then got like a bonus shot and missed like that one. Like he was boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
And I looked at him and I said, if you pick the Pikachu, I'll give you $20 right now. And then his girlfriend,
as a child,
yes. I was like 13 years old.
That's awesome.
Man is like mid 20s at least. His girlfriend literally looks at him and goes, "Ask for more." I'm a child.
God, that's brutal.
She's like, "You should ask for more." Luckily, I didn't have much more, but he was like, "All right, $20." give him $20.
Wow.
Gives me a giant Pikachu.
Wow.
And I was such an obnoxious kid, right? And the last thing my ego needed was a gigantic Pikachu at Universal Studios. So I'm like running around parading this ginormous.
You didn't even win.
Yeah, and I don't want to spoil anything about my top 5 list, but I could
guess.
For those that have listened to our other episodes, you might guess that I'm a big fan of Pikachu as a mascot. And
okay.
Yeah.
So you did go that route.
I may have gone that route in forming my list. Yeah, and of course there's a couple other mascots that I grew up close to. I know that I was an especially big fan of Kirby as a kid, and there's a TV show. I'm sure I'll talk about that when we get into top 5 lists.
Ooh, I kind of remember the show.
Yeah,
until you said it, I never would have even remembered that.
I think Link had a TV show too. You're the Link guy. Maybe you'll be able to tell me about that.
Zelda had a very short run on a TV show it was like a VHS or something, or like a DVD or something that like you could interact with. I don't even know exactly. That was, I'm not that old. I don't, I wasn't around.
An older game,
but it's very hidden, and no one, it's like notoriously like this like worst looking thing ever created by Nintendo wanted nothing to do with it. They just like approved it. But yeah, I don't know. You can watch some YouTube videos about that.
And it's funny now that I'm thinking about it. We also had that Mario Bros. Film. Right?
Yeah.
Right? A lot of these mascots got their own television appearances. I feel like I maybe have seen a scene of it. I have it in my room just because I found it at like Big Lots.
Okay.
Like I found like a $3 Mario Bros. Movie, the live action.
Nice.
Big Lots, and I was like, I just need to like have this just to have it. And
I mean, yeah. Like you said, like I can envision, what it looks like in my head. I've seen some scenes on YouTube and whatever. I've never watched it, but like from what I've heard, it's like a ridiculous play on like adult humor with like these two, like, childhood sweetheart, like mascots, like, did not play off well with the critics or fans.
Right. Not necessarily a movie for the critics.
Yeah.
But that's okay. All right. Well, I think I'll start us off, and I'll give you my top 5. We can just have at it.
Let's do it.
So number 5 on my list would be Link. Purely just so you would not be disappointed from the exclusion.
It wasn't even going to be on your list. Otherwise, if I was somebody else. So
here's why. Is that I think for the mascots, Nintendo has like a really nice like. Stylistically Nintendo cute charm to their characters, right? And they're very much like their own. And I will, and when I go further down my list, I will say why I thought some of these mascots were very much their own. Mm-hmm. I love playing as Link, right, in the games. And I love the world that Link lives in the games. Right. I feel like the character of Link is a little bit derivative of fantasy tropes.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
I don't want to offend any listeners, but I see him resembling an elf. It's
actually like based on like Peter Pan.
Okay, he's based on Peter Pan. So he looks like an elf Peter Pan, like a. But I don't get me wrong.
That's
I like Link. I know I don't want to offend anyone because I do like Link. But I'm speaking in terms of design and kind of like his qualities. Mm-hmm. I feel like he's borrowing a little bit too much from fantasy tropes.
Okay.
In a way where Nintendo's really good at not always doing that. But he looks cool, like, and he's very relatable, especially if you're like, a young boy, like getting into video games, and you're like me and you pick up Wind Waker and you have this like, young boy who like you maybe kind of look like he's like ambiguous enough looking where like plenty of people can like see themselves being Link.
Not even necessarily just boys. I mean, that's kind of the idea. Is like,
yeah. He also has like feminine characteristics, like. You can be him. He's the RPG for Nintendo, essentially.
Yeah, I mean, you already know Link is on my list.
Right. So that's why I was kind of just talking and not even worrying about what. Okay, go ahead.
I have a lot to say later on.
Sure.
But I do respect your view. You know, Link is not meant to be this like face of Nintendo, not meant to be even like the face of like the Zelda franchise. Like it's the Zelda franchise, not the Link franchise. And that's because they wanted the ambiguity so that people can relate to Link. And even like it's not the same Link in all the games. Like it's a different Link in most of the games, and it's like, he's looking different in most of the games. So it's not like an iconic character that like you're supposed to identify like as like the face of Nintendo. Definitely, like I agree with you on that. And I probably push the boundaries of my own personal rules while making this list. Take some liberties because that was a sticking point for me when making this list, is I wanted it to be like a full-fledged like character, not. I'll talk about it later on.
You maybe let a little bit of your bias get the better of you?
Maybe possibly. A little bit.
Okay. Well, that's an excellent point that you made. While there's different Links in different games that does take a little bit away from like the face of Link. It is cool for the games where you can be like, oh, we see the cell shaded Link in Wind Waker, and then but he's in the the mobile games too, and then being like, oh, that Link in Majora's Mask, he looks like the Link from the other game. Like, it adds to the lore, of the Zelda world, and that is like what that franchise really has going for it is that thick lore where Mario is a great franchise too. It's not necessarily the most lore-driven game, but that's all I have to really say about it. I'm a little central on his character, but
fair enough.
Worthy of 5 at least. Okay. What do you got for me, Jake?
At least it's on the list.
Yes.
What do I have? Number 5. Speaking of that, cute Nintendo, characteristic, that they go for with these icons. Kirby's number 5. The same. Okay, so this is laughable to say today, but I also grew up with a Kirby. I can't say it with a straight face.
Say it. You have to.
I was obsessed with Kirby Air Ride.
Of course.
It's just like notoriously like the worst Kirby game, just about. I mean, there are worse ones, but it's like a stupid like Mario Kart ripoff that like had nothing going for it. But I think it was on the GameCube, so like it was multiplayer, and like I mentioned in the past, like with the GameCube and the Game Boy that we had as kids, like it was a shared experience with my siblings, like specifically my brother. So like the ability to do this multiplayer like just meant that we didn't have to watch each other play single player games. So there's like, I feel that connection with Kirby because I spent so much time as a kid playing this game,
just
even though it's an awful game.
Okay.
And now, I did kind of go on, it's been a while saying that, but that's the idea. Yeah. Anyway, so I recently played, crud. What is the game that I told you like I was playing last week?
Was it Superstar? The Super Nintendo
Superstar
one?
Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Okay. There's so many Kirby games. I get the names mixed up. I was playing Superstar, which was like I don't even know. Was it on the Super Nintendo?
Yeah, it was Super Nintendo.
So. Yeah. So I played that one last week, and it was beautiful. It was wonderful. So I have played also like the one they have on the Switch that I don't know the names, but like the like multiplayer one for the Switch. Like it's made for multiplayer. That one was awful. Like I couldn't get into it. I was like, I didn't understand it. But now playing Superstar, like I understand what Kirby's going for, because it's like it's kind of the side scroller, but then sometimes it's not a side scroller where like it's the screen is still, and like you're when you're battling the boss and whatever. But it was super cool to like this is like the kind of the Kirby game that like people say like if you're trying to get into Kirby, play this one because it's like 6 games in one or something. So like it was very cool to like experience this new side of Kirby that I did not have as a child, but like is like the actual face of Kirby that like I should have experienced. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that was very cool, and I think Kirby is just like adorable and like such like Kirby stands out. I mean, even in like the new Smash Bros. Like character reveal trailer, I don't know if you saw it from like last week. Like the new character, like whatever his name from Tekken, like killed everyone in Smash Bros. And then like throws him off a cliff, and then Kirby's like floating in the background behind him, like still alive. And I was making hand signals like of Kirby floating. And you guys can't see me, but like that, like it's so hilarious and relatable and like adorable, and it's like so Nintendo. So like Kirby had to be on this list. I think I'm just looking at my notes in case I missed anything, but Epic Yarn is a game I want to play. Dreamland is a game I want to play.
The first Dreamland?
Yeah. Like I don't know the names, but reading people's like reviews. My point is like there's so many Kirby games, and a lot of them I'm actually very interested in playing when I can get my hands on them.
Yeah, well, let's talk about the Kirby games for a minute, just because we haven't really talked too much about those games. Yeah. And you're talking a little bit about Superstar. That is a game that I didn't play as a kid. I only got into it last year, and it's fun because you can now it's on the virtual console for the Switch. Like you can, it has a multiplayer feature. You can also play by yourself.
This is true.
It has you were only playing Air Ride as a kid, so you maybe don't have this experience, but like the Kirby I know is like 2D side scroller, like very linear. You get the powers, beat the guys, beat the boss, you're done. Yeah. And it has that in Superstar, but it also has races. It has more of like a Metroidvania, like solve the puzzle type thing. Yeah. It's it's a good time. It's I played it on the plane recently, and I was able to like just go through the different games, like like have my girlfriend play one of them, have my brother play another one of the racing games. Dreamlands, you were talking about when you played, that might have been technically my first. It's cool. I believe it's in that game. Kirby doesn't get powers. Really? At that point, Kirby's gimmick was that he swallows people and shoots them out, and he can fly. Yeah. And it's so funny because nowadays, like what makes Kirby is that he can
like
take people's
ability copy.
The copying the ability. Like I just had this thought in my head. He's the Ditto. He's like Pokemon is Ditto, and the rest of Nintendo is Kirby. But yeah, just in Dreamland, it was it's black and white, and you're just like absorbing people and shooting them out. That's awesome. Yeah, it's fun, but it is very much a reduced form of the other Kirby games. Right. And I played a bunch of the other ones as a kid. Of course, Air Ride. I did the free ride mode where you
that's what we mostly did.
You're right, because it's like when you're a kid, that's like Grand Theft Auto to you, right?
There it is.
Exactly what it is. Perfect. It's like I'm like in a city and I'm driving around. I'm like 10 years away from being able to drive a car. Like I'm just having a good time.
I remember in that game, in like the free ride whatever area, there's like they have like all the cars like in this one area, like or like whatever spacecrafts, whatever. But like it let you like jump on top of buildings or something, and then like we would like glitch it out where like we would jump from like one rooftop of a building like to like this other building that like it was not supposed to be accessible, but like we kind of like would try to like glitch it out sometimes.
Love
like
GameCube like that.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, also we were so young that like you said, it's like clearly nothing like GTA, but to us it felt that way because like your creativity is running rampant.
Yeah. And I'll talk more about my personal favorite Kirby game when I get to Kirby on my list, the Crystal Shards. But nice. for now, I'm going to hop into my number 4.
Do it.
So for number 4, I have Samus from the Metroid games.
Nice.
Samus, I've definitely have not played as the Samus character as many times as I have for everyone else on this list.
Okay.
Because I might have said before, the only games I really sat down and played was definitely Super Metroid. And I played a little bit of the first Metroid. Metroid Prime, I've played some of the demo. I never really had that game. But I love the idea of Samus in that, you know, the idea of the big reveal of like you are in this giant suit and you're like you're destroying aliens and you're jacked and you're and then it turns out you're a woman and and it's kind of there's not really other like powerful women characters. I don't want to say that blankly because there are, and like sometimes Zelda can be a powerful character,
especially more in the modern games.
Sure. So and you know, we have like Peach, who can be a powerful character sometimes. But Samus, this was back in like the 80s, right?
Yep.
Doing this. And that's pretty cool to me. It's
definitely,
we talked about this in the Metroid, so we don't have to go into it a bunch, but it kind of borrows from like that Alien franchise where Sigourney Weaver is, you know, the woman main character who's destroying the aliens. And they're kind of brought that into the video game world. And that's awesome because, early on in video games, it wasn't super cool to have the woman character. Samus like gave us an opportunity where you can still relate, like even being a dude, like you're a character in a giant power suit. Like you want to have that power suit too, and it's okay. You know, like it makes it relatable for more people. Definitely. And cool lasers. The lasers
cool
are cool.
Lasers.
Yes, cool bombs.
The only thing a kid wants.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
In an act of good faith, I'm gonna make a quick switcheroo in my list and match you on that.
Wow. Okay.
The more I think about my own criteria going into this episode, I don't feel comfortable with what I had originally.
Wow.
So I'm going to switch Samus with my soon-to-be revealed number 3. So Samus is my number 4 as well.
Okay.
And we could probably lock that in, but, you know, we'll talk at the end about it. But totally agree. I mean, not much to say, especially because we just had an episode on it, which if you haven't listened to, do it. What are you doing? But like we were talking about, obviously the whole Nintendo, you know, cute, like fun characters. Samus is not that. So it's cool to like be able to have this like really dark franchise kind of in the series that's like keeps you on your toes and has a little bit more action going on, like you know, like the Nintendo's competitors of the time that like Nintendo never really embraced to the, you know, the same extent. So it's cool to have this character that's different from what you expect in like every way from Nintendo. And that's why like Samus definitely had to be on this list for me. Although not as high as I originally had her. Besides that, yeah, I played like you mentioned, like Prime. I think it was Prime Hunters on the DS. Like everyone, I went to summer camp growing up, so everyone would be playing that. Well, they only let us bring our DSs into camp on the last week of the summer, right? So like everyone would like only be playing DS all week.
Exactly.
And if it wasn't like Pictochat and Mario Kart, it was Prime Hunters, which was like I think it was like four player, like I don't even know, like a FPS type thing. Which like, you know, you didn't have a lot of that. It's like so common today, but like that was like kind of a new thing. I guess not exactly new, but to have it so accessible, really, and through like Nintendo Wi-Fi.
Yeah, like, for it to be a mobile game was like, that's pretty new. I mean, I can't think of any Game Boy Advance games that were doing that.
I mean, like Doom had it, right? Yeah. But I mean, that was like on your computer and like probably very complicated. I mean, I've never done it, but like I'm just saying it was like so accessible on the DS to just like, you know, just be hooked up to Wi-Fi, like not even need like cables like on the GameCube. I mean, Game Boy, sorry.
Sure.
But yeah, so yeah. So that's really what I played growing up, and I didn't even play that much. But that's, you know, my relationship with Samus. Overall, cool character, dark. Have, you know, dug its own spot in this Nintendo list.
Well, I would perfectly agree with you that Samus is absolutely the number 4 best mascot. Okay, well, if that's all you got, that's all I got. I'm going to go into my number 3 now.
All right.
And that would be Kirby. Kirby.
Nice.
The color of Kirby is amazing. I was like doing my notes and I was like, I'm just gonna like maybe a couple things to reference. And I was like, I like this. I like this. Oh yeah, this is a great idea too. Oh, and this is also a great thing about Kirby. So I'm gonna say what I have. The color is great because it's like Kirby looks like yogurt. Like, you know, it looks like delicious yogurt. And when you play like the different Kirby games and you can change Kirby's color.
Yeah.
I definitely did that in like, I think it was like Squeak Squad had like a bunch of different colors and they all looked like delicious yogurt. And between like the feet and the pink body, like that, like I want to like dress like Kirby, honestly. The concept is genius. Now I did admit that it was very much a developed concept. Like, it started out was like, oh, Kirby will eat bad guys.
Right.
Okay. That gets a little boring. All right. Maybe eat bad guys and then become them. Okay. And you could keep becoming them.
Right.
That is awesome because I don't mean to keep throwing Mario under the bus, but Mario's concept is he's an Italian dude. Like, you know,
right.
He gets powers too, but he gets like 3 powers. You know, Kirby had very much a unique idea going for it.
That's a good point. Mario, I mean, the newer games, a lot of like the hats on Odyssey. You haven't played that one yet, right?
Right.
But, you know, every new hat is a new ability. And that's like probably something they just saw going really well with Kirby that didn't, you know, like you said, Mario gets repetitive, gets boring. So that's a good point. Like Kirby's so old and Mario waited another 20 or 30 years to take that idea.
I mean, yeah, Mario was like a much earlier character too. So they didn't really have like different inspirations to draw from in terms of like what people wanted in video games, I guess.
Yeah, that's valid.
I mean, I'll talk about it. Mario was also he has a hilarious like backstory and how his creation was. But this is not about Mario. Right now, I'm talking about Kirby.
I'm sure we'll get to Mario.
He's probably in my list. We got 2 more after this. Yeah. Now let's talk about the Crystal Shards. So that's probably my favorite Kirby game. I haven't played it in a couple of years, but it's especially unique. I'll tell you about it if you don't know that what makes Crystal
I've never played it.
Okay, so it's still 2D. But it's with 3D models. It's a 64 game, so it's linear 2D, and but it's like a 3-dimensional space that you walk along the line. Okay, but the cool thing is that not only can you absorb powers, but you can combine powers with other powers.
Cool.
So I'm trying to think how math works.
That's a switcheroo.
I think that might be like every power squared, basically.
The transitive property.
Yeah. Or is it a factorial? I'm not really sure. I wish I could be like, you have this many powers. But I remember being a kid and like I had played it for so long and I was like still like I would discover a new power.
Oh, cool.
And then my creativity would like get me so excited to like keep discovering things.
More than you actually even need for the game. You could keep coming back to this. Okay, that's cool. That's cool.
So that's what made the game really cool. Not necessarily the levels and the difficulty of beating them, because it wasn't much of a hard game. But it was like, wait a second. I have never combined ice with electric. Like, what would I even get?
Right.
Would you get like an electric bolt in the snow? Like, and then so you would go and try to find like, well, what level has both those two? And then and you breathe in a snowman, and then you would get the power and you would throw it at a sparky guy, and then you would absorb it, and then it's like this crazy like graphic when they combine, and then you become a refrigerator.
That's sick.
That shoots food, and you can eat the food. Right. It was this level of creativity.
That's very creative.
Yes.
That's cool.
And it would across the board. I mean, the refrigerator is like my favorite one because it was so funny and creative. I wish I could. There were some obvious things.
Could it like fly like Kirby?
You are Kirby. Like you can fly.
I know. I'm just trying to like envision
the refrigerator
Kirby as a fridge.
No. You couldn't fly wall being the refrigerator, but you would kind of like, I think.
Did he transform?
So yeah, I think you would maybe have like a different hat, or maybe not even a different color. But when you press the attack button, you become a refrigerator and you start like shooting out food, and then you get the food. Like,
I'll have to find a video of this.
You need to. It's amazing. Like it was such an amazing moment in my childhood that I can actually remember seeing it for the first time. And nice. I wish I had a list of like the coolest ones so I could say them all. I just remember kind of like more boring ones, like, fire and sword. You combined it and now you get like a fiery sword, and it looks like really cool as a kid, but like duh. Check out some gameplay of that. And we talked about the TV show. Yeah, the TV show. I'm sure I would not care to watch it much as an adult, but I thought it was very cool to see these different characters like kind of like talking to each other, like building the world more. Because you play these games, and even Mario has some world building to it. Link has some very hard world building. Kirby is like King DDD is the bad guy. Go that way, you're just kind of going in a direction, and it's fine. It's fine. So the TV show let me like imagine how things worked in that world.
Cool.
In a nice way. HAL Laboratory. So HAL Laboratory was the part of Nintendo that designed Kirby, and they just had really good designs in general. Like I'm sure you can picture the tree from Kirby with the face and the nose.
Yep.
That's a mini boss, right? And we're just talking about it. Like, we can picture what this mini boss is like. It's an iconic image, and that's just kind of like the nature of HAL Laboratory. Like, they can make like fun, cute, original ideas and present it in an awesome way. They would go on to do Earthbound, and they made like great images. Like, I don't know if I've said this earlier in the podcast, but I want to get Dungeon Man tattooed on me.
You never said that.
Yes, Dungeon Man.
Wow. Okay, you guys heard it here.
Yes,
that's a promise.
I don't know. Well, now I'm saying yes. Now I'm saying it publicly. I have to do it. I will get it now. Well, for those who don't know who Dungeon Man is a very obscure character in the realm of Nintendo. You meet him in the game of Earthbound, and he's just a person outside of a dungeon. He's kind of like a parody of like the dungeon crawler. He's like, I want to have the best dungeon, and it's funny because it's like, like it's Nintendo. We've played plenty of dungeons, and then you meet him later in the game, and he is a gigantic dungeon. Like, he becomes a walking dungeon, and he's like, I did it. Like, my dreams came true. I am Dungeon Man now.
I need to play this game.
Yes, and it's like hilarious, and it's like, wait a second, he really did do it. Like, I have so much faith in the integrity of Earthbound, where I know that they were trying to make a metaphor of like shooting for the moon and landing on the stars. You know what I mean? Like, he wanted the impossible, and it took a while, and then he became impossible. And I want that inked onto my body.
Nice. I'm currently planning on getting a Master Sword from the Zelda franchise tattoo.
Nice.
I might do it in a month or two.
Just hold down your chest.
No, I think the back of my calf.
Not a giant one on your back, maybe.
I'm kind of against back tattoos. Okay. Like, it feels silly not being able to. I mean, this isn't a tattoo podcast, but it seems silly, getting a tattoo and not being able to see it.
Yeah.
Tweet at us if you agree.
Right. Let's hear your tattoo opinions on Top 5 Nintendo. What else do I got? This is just a fun fact that I thought made Kirby even more awesome. I wasn't aware of this, but if you read the game manuals to learn a little bit more about who Kirby is, because we look at Link, we look at Samus, Mario, the very humanoid characters. Kirby is HAL Laboratory. Like, they came up with something special, and so they give him like a different backstory essentially every game, and it's really whatever the guy who's writing the manual. Guy or girl who's writing the manual wants to say, and some will say he is a young boy. Other manuals will be like he is a jolly man. Like, right.
So it's a different Kirby.
Exactly. Yeah, Kirby. It's like Link. He cool. He can be a different thing in every game, and also he's kind of he's kind of like the whole Samus phenomenon where you can relate in a like non-gendered specific way.
Yeah.
Right? Because Kirby, like, okay, the manual says Kirby is a guy. Well,
I mean, yeah, Kirby definitely has some like relatable quirks, I'd say, as like simple as the games are, like at a base level. There's like a quirky Nintendo comedy to it that you could kind of relate to at points.
Sure. And he's also just a circle, you know? So it's I'm not like, oh, I don't relate to this character because they have things that other people I know have that I don't.
Yeah.
Kirby's a circle, like it's fair game, you know? That's how I see it. Whatever. Yeah, but that's all I got on Kirby.
Cool. I wanted to say, and I can't vouch for this, but I was reading like when I was doing some Kirby research, I was reading this guy like on like Reddit or something was like so annoyed that like apparently on like the first like Kirby game on like the NES, the like cover art was like Kirby was like white, not pink. And so this guy was like so annoyed that he thought it was like a ghost game. Like was like
That's
deceived
so
into like
I have the cover art of Kirby's Dreamland in front of me right now. And I think it's because it's a black and white game. They never had to think about what color necessarily. Like they had to do the shading.
Yeah.
But yeah, on the cover art, even though the cover is in color, Kirby is still black and white. Here, come look at it. Okay. Kirby is still black and white. I guess they didn't want to commit to anything at that point.
Funny. Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah. I never thought about like maybe people wanted Kirby to be like white and gray.
Ghost.
Yeah, like because Kirby really does look like in the first game looks like a Boo from a Mario game.
Yeah, that could have been some influence.
Yeah, I mean, if I pulled up a picture of Dungeon Man, you would see that Dungeon Man literally just looks like the tree from the Kirby games too.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
So there's a little borrowing,
which also kind of looks like the Great Deco tree. Yeah.
Okay, right, exactly. That's
cool.
They're aware of each other. They know what people like.
Nice. All right. Well, we said a lot about Kirby. We're 35 minutes in. You want to go to the break?
Let's do it.
All right. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Ryan.
And I'm Mike.
And we are brothers-in-law. We both love beer and are amateur home brewers.
Wait, so does that make us brothers-in-law?
I believe so.
Every episode, we will talk about aspects of beer and home brewing.
But nothing super technical because we're learning this too.
So join us as we sit down together and dive into something beer-related.
Whether it's a little field research, tasting a certain beer style, or beers from a specific brewery.
Talk about our experiences brewing beer at home, including our own solo brews, as well as themed competitions we'll set up along the way.
We will also talk about some of our favorite aspects of brewing, like hops, extra ingredients, building our brew cave, and more. And of course, our own misadventures that have happened along the way.
So, if you like beer, are home brewing already,
or if you have an interest in home brewing and don't know where to start,
join us on Brothers-in-Law Podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google, YouTube, or wherever you listen to podcasts.
And make sure to follow us on Twitter @Brothers-in-Law and check out our website, brothersinlaw.com.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Hey, this is TC.
And this is Jim from the Studio Demands It podcast.
Where every episode we take a demand from a hypothetical studio,
which could be you,
and challenge ourselves to conceptualize, pitch, and craft a film based on the stipulations
or the demands
we are given. We talk about movies all the time. Particularly, we complain about the choices made in the films we've seen.
We're nerds like that.
And, of course, like any good nerd does, we automatically assume that we could do better.
Even with the demands and restrictions that clearly must have been put on by a production.
So head on over to studiodemandsit.com and listen to our previous library of episodes. Our library of previous episodes. Our precious library, Jim. Our library of precious episodes.
You're a pirate, Smeagol.
Okay. So head on over to studiodemandsit.com to listen to our library of episodes.
And submit your demand for a future episode, too.
So go do that.
Okay, bye.
Okay, end of ad.
Okay, and we're back. I believe, Jake, you owe us your third choice now.
All right, my original 4, my new number 3. I'll explain later.
This
on
is
why
unprecedented, by the way. We have never changed mid-episode. This is anarchy.
It's true. To be fair, I mean, we came up with this idea and like made the list like a week ago.
Yeah.
So I haven't sat on it, and this might be actually my first time revisiting my list since I wrote it at like 1 a.m. or midnight or something. Yeah. So, but okay. Where am I at? Mario is number 3.
Number 3. Okay.
What's number 4?
He's on your list. Whatever.
And I'll talk more on this later when I reveal my 2. But maybe my 1. I don't want to spoil anything, but Mario, now that I think about it with my own criteria, did not make sense to be below Samus. Mario's like the face of Nintendo, like embodies everything Nintendo stands for and like aims to symbolize and whatever. So Mario definitely needs to be up there. Mario's like the most relatable character, maybe. And again, like I'll talk more on this with my 1 and 2, but like even if you can't relate with Mario, like you love him. He's like clever, but not too clever. He's funny. He's like has a little bit of charm. He like in like some sunshine, he just wants to like chill out and vacation with his pals, you know what I mean? Right. Just a relatable guy all around, I guess. He had like a spectacular evolution going from like 2D to 3D, which like a lot of Nintendo characters did, but like Mario really did going to Super Mario 64, which was like pretty much the first of its kind, and like created so many like standards for 3D gaming, which was still being evolved at that time. They didn't quite nail it until I guess like Z targeting with Ocarina of Time, but Mario really is a groundbreaker in like every sense, and like obviously is the Nintendo character. So number 3 seems kind of right for me. Maybe a little controversial, but I mean, you already know what my number 1 is. But,
and you already know what my number 1 is.
Yeah, so that just leaves number 2, I guess. But I mentioned earlier with my Jumpman joke, but like it was originally named Jumpman, but then they wanted to create like more of a character. I think I read, and don't quote me on this, but I think I read that like the like landlord or something, when they were like creating Jumpman / Mario, they knew they wanted to give him a name that wasn't Jumpman, but like they had like a landlord that was like angry with them or something that was named Mario. Like that was the guy's name, so they kind of just stole his name, and it worked out really well. Yes, you seem like you have something to say on this.
Yeah, they definitely took the Mario name from an actual white dude named Mario. Yeah. I totally forget what their relation was to this Mario dude. I don't think it was a landlord. I feel like it was a dude.
Janitor, maybe.
Yeah, I'm like trying to like sneakily look this up. Okay, I can
keep talking while you Google it.
Yeah. Why else do you like Mario?
Yeah. The hat, which is like so iconic, was really just put in there. I guess it was hard to like portray hair back in the day. Same with like the mustache covering the mouth. It's just like easier to animate or like code or whatever the terminology is. Which is like so funny because like obviously when you think of Mario, you think of his big red hat with the M. But like that just came and gets to like, which I feel like we've talked about this so many times, like just like the restrictions that Nintendo had became like their source of creativity, which is like the best thing to do, I guess, with creativity. What else? Apparently an early 90s survey of children showed that Mario is more recognizable than Mickey Mouse to children.
Yeah, I believe it.
That's why I don't know if it would stand today. Like, what do you think about that? Do you think the same would stand today?
That's tricky because there's a lot of Mario media, but there's what do I know about Mickey Mouse shows that are on TV right now?
Right.
Like,
is there even Mickey Mouse on TV today? I remember like Mickey Mouse Clubhouse. I think it was called.
There's definitely some variant of that on whatever TV show kids watch. That I want to know the statistics of it because
the exact numbers.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I know that Mario is at least the highest grossing video game franchise.
Yeah. Okay.
Right now.
Wait, really? Oh yeah. I was reading this. Oh, didn't they like in? Wait, maybe this was. Did they include it with the NES or something? Where like
I should take it back. I said highest grossing. I should have said best selling. I don't know if there's like some sneaky difference between that.
Maybe I was thinking about Mario Kart. I don't know. Like whatever. I'll stop. I don't know what I'm saying. Go ahead.
Yeah,
I believe it.
Yeah,
That could be cool.
So it's Mickey Mouse has not had much of a video game presence. He was in what? He was in Kingdom Hearts, right? Mm-hmm. So Mario has his own place. He is definitely taking up a large space in the media world that Mickey Mouse doesn't have any of his feet in, right? So in that sense, I feel like there is competition between the two. It's not one or the other type of thing. But it's interesting. I would like to know, like,
I was amazed to read that.
Yeah, that is crazy.
Yeah, that's a good point. I would also, I guess, like to see those exact numbers. I mean, the more you think about it, it makes sense because, like you said, like Mickey Mouse is just like visual, whereas like Mario, well, I don't know when the show was or the movie was, but had a movie, had all these video games, was in arcades, had plush toys, had this and that, was like the face of Nintendo, had like people in Times Square dressed as Mario, like the whole 10 yards, 9 yards, whatever the saying is.
Yeah. So they're doing different things. I think, Mickey Mouse, the whole Disney franchise, they are covering the whole like amusement park thing. Like I'd say Disney is probably dominating that right
Good point.
now.
I've never been to Disney. That's why it wasn't on the top of my head. I'm one of those kids.
This is blasphemy to say on Top 5 Nintendo, but I am a huge Disney World fan.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I've been a bunch of times. But what I'm even more excited about is that there's supposed to be some kind of Nintendo park in Universal Studios. Yeah, which it's going to be amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm so
a few years out from now.
Okay,
they opened one in Japan, which looks amazing. They have like Nintendo themed foods and like,
oh my gosh,
and like they have like it's like
some mushroom burgers.
I'm not sure, but I did I was reading about it when it first opened, and it was like more creative than that.
Okay.
But they have like the Peach's Castle as like the backdrop with like. I don't know. Look up pictures. It's hard to describe, I guess, but it's so cool, and I cannot wait till this is in the U.S. Although I would love to visit Japan eventually, and obviously I would go there if I did. But it would be very cool to have it here in the U.S.
Absolutely. And to validate your fun fact, I can confirm that Mario was the landlord of Nintendo of America.
Oh, okay.
So that is, they just took his name because they're like, oh, he is
that's so funny.
He's an Italian American. Mario Italian.
It isn't like the current like Nintendo of America's president named like Bowser.
Oh my gosh, is it really?
I believe so. I think it's so hilarious every time I see this guy's name. It's like, how did that? Was it intentional? It had to be intentional.
No,
like, if Bowser's one of your like top 5 choices, like you gotta go with him. Hilarious though.
Is that what number are you at right now? Was that your?
That was my 3.
There's your 3. Okay, well,
you want to. Is your number 2 Mario? Well, it has to be.
My number 2 is Mario. So we're just going to keep talking about Mario
Fair
now.
Enough.
Yeah. Well, so what can I say about Mario that hasn't been said besides some fun facts that people might not have been told yet? So I have a couple fun facts to share. So obviously he debuted in the Donkey Kong game, right? He was in Donkey Kong's game before he had his own game. And originally they wanted to have Popeye be.
Really?
They wanted Popeye to be the character in Donkey Kong.
I've never heard that one.
So, I mean, that might have just been them being like, like throwing spaghetti at the wall. Like, oh, well, who's the person going to be in Donkey Kong? Could we have like a Popeye? Like, I don't know. Like,
that's hilarious.
He's strong. So then they were like, all right, well, let's see if like he'll be in our game. Why not?
I wonder how big Popeye was in Japan, or if they were just trying to like appeal to like American audiences.
Right.
That's funny. I'll look into that.
That would be interesting. I could see them like, well, when I think Donkey Kong, I also think like King Kong. So maybe they were really trying to be like, all right, we're fine in Japan. Let's make it as appealing as possible to America. That would be interesting. That could be why they were going for that. But the people who owned Popeye's, copyright said no. So
what a loss!
I know. Imagine how big Popeye would be right now. We would be like having Popeye plushies.
We would have a Popeye podcast.
Yes, this would be top 5 Popeye. Arguably a better name. Anyone who picks that name has to pay me money. Like I said, Mario is the best-selling video game franchise, and
that's another one that's difficult to believe. Not that I doubt you, but like with like Call of Duty and GTA nowadays, I guess like the length of Mario gives it that leg up. But everybody owns Call of Duty, or like did at some point.
Well, think of the rating system, right? So for Call of Duty, everyone owns Call of Duty who is old enough to play Call of Duty, right?
But not everyone old enough to play Mario plays Mario. But like some people view Mario as a child's character, which is not the case.
Which is not the case, exactly. And I think that if you grew up with a Mario game, at this point, many people have grown up with a Mario game. You'd probably come back to it at some point. Right.
Fair enough. I believe it.
Call of Duty is up there. Call of Duty. I feel like I was looking it up and it's like in the top 10 or something. 10. Yeah, because like you said, everyone plays Call of Duty, but we are a Nintendo podcast, so we
Call of Hootie.
So we don't even know what that is. Call of Duty. What else? What else we got going on? So he was a carpenter in the Donkey Kong game.
Yes.
Canonically, he was a carpenter because Donkey Kong takes place on a construction site.
Yeah.
He's throwing barrels. Yeah. It's down the buildings. And so it's like, construction. He works with wood. I don't know. That they wanted him to be a working class, to be like relatable to a wider appeal. They didn't want him, I don't know, to be a businessman, I guess.
He wasn't some superhero saving the princess. He was just a normal guy.
Right. He was an everyman, was the idea. So when he had his own game, right, it wasn't a construction site anymore. It was a different setting. And the setting of Mario, I mean, the cool thing about it is that when every world, I feel like you haven't played too many of the 2D platformers, right?
I played a couple, not too many.
Okay, you played a couple.
Mushroom Kingdom.
Okay. So then you probably know that like each like world has kind of its own, feel, like desert. A little more like jungly, or I don't know.
Yeah.
But the one thing that stays true for all the worlds is you can go underground, and the underground usually looks more or less
with the
same.
tunnels, right?
Yeah, with the tunnels.
I mean, the pipes.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Yes.
Yes. So you hit the nail on the head right there. The pipes. That's how he's a plumber. That's what lets him go underground, is that he can work with pipes. So that is what makes him canonically a plumber. And they just were going for the blue collar characteristics, make him more of an everyman.
Cool.
Another record that belongs to the Mario character is that the guy who's voice acting Mario. I don't know if you are aware his name. I don't want to say it wrong and look foolish in front of everybody.
I don't know the name of him.
Charles Martinet, I believe it is.
Okay, sounds right.
So he's been voicing Mario since 1990.
Yeah,
and he holds the world record for most voice acting credits for the same character.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, which is, it's almost hard to believe, but I guess,
it's another one of the things where it's just been so long.
Yeah.
Like, what other franchise has lasted the test of time?
Yeah. And in so many different ways. Like, is it in like a trailer? It's a me, Mario. and that voice wasn't necessarily Charles, his like first idea. He was trying to go for more of like like a mobster, like he he was approaching this voice acting audition as like, you know, the school of thought of like maybe like The Godfather, where you're kind
like some New York tough guy.
yeah, like a tough guy, you know, and he's stomping on people and like beating people up.
Cool.
And they were like, can it be like funnier? So he had to come up that he was going to pitch this like tough guy mobster Italian thing, and then on the spot he had to come up with something new. So he just starts babbling, right? and I guess his like panic in the audition is what gave him that like goofy like it's a me, a Mario, like blah 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 blah, because he just started like going off with this in some generic thing, and then they thought it was hilarious.
I'm like envisioning like all these like sitcoms where like, you know, like people like pretend to do an Italian accent, like that's just like they go to like, oh, like yeah, I talk like this. Like, that's what this guy just did like in Nintendo's office. Like that's hilarious to think about.
Yeah.
Like
and
on the spot.
They were like, yeah. And they're like, yeah, obviously we don't want you to have a mobster voice in our cute video game. Yeah. You should look up the transcript for what he said in the audition. It's, well, for the listeners who don't feel like looking it up, he literally is just babbling about spaghetti in a cartoonish like Italian American. Like, Are you like some spaghetti? I'll give you spaghetti. Yeah, it's
that's awesome.
It's very funny. I can't believe that he got the gig, but he's a world record holder now, so I guess it worked out for him. Okay, well, I'll say a nice thing about Mario 2 is that the design's iconic because it has enough going for it where it really stands out as something different, but it's also very simplistic, right? You can maybe like draw your own Mario, like the M on the hat is like, well, boom, that sells itself. You can go buy a hat with an M on it. Same with the Ash Ketchum situation.
All you need for a Halloween costume.
Right. The Halloween costume is so easy. Sorry, Kirby, but I'm not really gonna, I don't know, put on a full body pink suit with red shoes.
I would.
I might do it. I'd have to explain who I am to just about 90. You
get like an inflatable ball and like
I know, and I would wear, you know, like a sumo suit and like paint it pink to be Kirby, but then I wouldn't be able to like absorb powers, and I would have to just have a bag with like all my hats in it.
That would be this is coming along. Let's discuss this further after the episode.
I would steal your glasses after absorbing your power.
Nice.
Yeah, Jake wears glasses for people who I have not told yet. I mean he's the
that reminds me, at the end of this episode we should drop our handles. That's like a thing that people do on podcasts I've been listening to. oh
like our personal
Instagrams? Okay. Let's do that. Keep listening to the end if you want to find us on the socials.
Yes thank you for that. And he's the face of Nintendo. Like if Mario wasn't in my top 3, I would probably just be objectively wrong. Is how I see it, at least.
That's why I switched it.
That's fair. I would make fun of you probably during the episode, and then when we're done, I would probably scream at you. So I'm glad you switched it. Okay.
Awesome.
Well, that will make the end of the episode easier when we figure out the real top 5. You want to give me your number 2 pick now?
This might be insanely controversial. I don't really know how it's going to come off, but after all this Mario talk, number 2 is Luigi.
Oh my goodness. You are blowing my mind right now. You better have the best fun facts about Mario's brother to justify.
Listen, Sam, there are hardly any fun facts about Luigi. Luigi's a secondary character for the most part.
For those who would like to know, my head is in my hands right now. I can't even look at Jake. The fact that he had Mario at number 4.
This is a fun episode.
And was going to have Luigi at number 2, right? So they weren't even going to be next to each other. There's actually going to be a gap.
So this is what I said earlier. When I say my number 2, I'll explain my Mario reasoning. My Mario reasoning is I did not want Mario and then Luigi right after each other. It feels so goofy. But
feels goofy, he said.
Here's the thing. I'm a twin. IRL, I am a twin.
Okay.
So I hate being, I don't say hate a lot, but I hate being like, when people are like, talk about me and my twin as if we're one person. So like being associated so closely to your twin, which is apparently like they're canonically twins, Mario and Luigi. It's been said in like interviews by the developers, but I didn't want to, I guess just that resentment, like growing up being compared to my twin, I didn't want to put them right next to each other. But they ended up, I don't know, I'm fine with it. They ended up right next to each other. Luigi is definitely better than Mario, and here's why. Well, like I said, so this is like more of a personal thing, I guess. But growing up, like I'm taller than my twin. Like I felt like I could relate to Luigi as a fellow twin in a way that I didn't relate to Mario, who's like the shorter one. You like, I would associate mentally with my twin. And like, keep in mind, like I'm like 5 years old, so this makes sense, growing up. But I just felt like I definitely related to Luigi in that sense. So in like we had like what was it? Like Super Mario Land 2 or whatever on the Game Boy. And I always like it let you switch between Mario and Luigi. And I always played as Luigi, who was like slightly faster and like could jump a little bit higher, but like had less control or whatever, like small differences. But always played as Luigi. I'm currently playing Luigi's Mansion New Moon, I think it's called, whatever, the second one on the 3DS. It's a little childish, but I'm enjoying it. Like, so Luigi is like such like sense of humor to him, and like I don't know, he's so like quirky and like dull. Not dull, like he's not very smart, but it's hilarious. He's a hilarious character. Like in Smash Bros, sometimes like when you win with him, and it does like, the character does like a little huzzah, like does a little movement that I can't verbalize, that I just made a physical movement. But Luigi like he goes like stiff and then like falls down like a plank, which is like so hilarious. But like perfectly encapsulates like his character and humor. So I mean, I am like obsessed with like Nintendo's like dumb sense of humor. Like anytime there's like a stupid little joke in any, like especially in like Mario games and Luigi games and Zelda games, I think it's hilarious. And like I love being able to like put down my console for a second or like whatever I'm playing and just laugh at it. And laughing by yourself is not really something you experience a lot. Like you watch a comedy movie and you do the like like you exhale a little bit when something's funny, but like you don't usually laugh out loud. Nintendo has a way of making me like laugh out loud at certain points, sure. Maybe like once per game, but like that's more than a lot of comedy movies which are like made to make you laugh for me. So I love that. Luigi's just like, I can't say enough. He's hilarious. I relate to him. He is so okay. Growing up, I mentioned like we played a lot of Mario Kart in my summer camp, right? So Shy Guy is a character on the DS Mario Kart. Everyone would talk about what does Shy Guy look like under his mask, Okay, we're going a little long in time. I'll make this short, but Luigi's the only person canonically in Nintendo who has seen Shy Guy without his mask. This was like, I don't even know. It was in like one of the Mario Karts or something. Like it's real quick, and you don't see Shy Guy. Like you see his back, but you see like Luigi's reaction, and his mouth is like wide open. He's like, "What?" It's like, it just makes you want to know that much more, and just makes Luigi that much cooler. That he's the only character who's seen this guy, thing without its mask. So Luigi is cooler than Mario for all of the previously stated reasons.
Well, I already gave you my disapproval for your choice, so I won't make you feel any worse about it. I will say, in the Smash Bros. Games, I played my fair share of Luigi. At one point,
nice.
He was one of my mains in
I
Melee.
love playing Luigi.
Yeah, in the Melee one, he was cool. He was one of my favorites. He has a lot of funny moves in Smash Bros. Yeah. Like he is really like, he differentiates from Mario. He's the funnier brother. He's the goofier guy. Can I
say real quick about this?
Okay.
With Smash Bros. Specifically, when my brother last visited, we were playing some Smash Bros. And I usually do random when I get playing against like people who don't play that much because like I'm kind of nice. So like I ended up being Luigi one time, and my brother just kept going like, "That's hilarious!" Like he kept saying like out loud, "That's hilarious!" to like Luigi's moves. He's like, "Do that again. That was hilarious."
Yeah.
And like we played for like an hour or two, maybe 2 hours, and that's the only character he like said like, "That's hilarious." Like this character is so awesome, you know.
So yeah, Luigi's taunt is I'm pretty sure this is still true, is the only taunt in Smash Bros that can do damage as part of like,
I didn't know that.
As part of a gag. What he does is he puts his head down and like swings his foot forward to be to be like timid and cute.
Right.
But when he swings his foot forward, if you're standing right in front of him, it does damage.
I didn't
There's like
know
2%.
that.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Mhm.
That's hilarious.
But that's all I'll say. Okay.
Okay.
Going into my number 1 pick.
I can see Luigi not being on this top 5 list.
Luigi is my number 1. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh my god. I already know.
Let me just warm up my number 1 pick before I say. Let me just give some more fun facts. I'm feeling very fun facty today.
I'm gonna say before you start in this,
sure.
We just hit the hour mark, so to keep our listeners sane, maybe let's try to
Okay.
hit us with it.
Yes, the highest grossing franchise of all time. It is, of course, as I've said before, Pokemon. It has just in jet aircraft sales alone has made $3 million. The famous.
Wait, what does that mean?
You heard me. Apparently, there are jet aircraft sales under the Pokemon franchise.
Is it like Pokemon's included like as like an in-flight game, or it's like the plane has Pikachu on the side of it?
The plane has Pikachu on the side.
Okay, Sam just showed me a picture. It's hilarious.
Yes, there are many Pokemon on the side of this plane.
That's awesome.
They made $3 million on it. The strategy guide books, if you grew up in that time before the internet, you will know that they are amazing. They made $142 million off of that.
That's believable.
In the box office, they made almost $2 billion. Box office for Pokemon. We're talking about movies. We're talking about TV shows. Pokemon has made almost $2 billion at the box office.
I have like all of them on VHS.
Exactly. I have the first episode of Pokemon on VHS in my room, and I also have Pokemon 2000.
Nice. That was a good one.
Oh yeah. Oh, that was a good one. I think that's where you get the Ancient Mew card.
Yeah.
Yeah. In theaters, they would give it to you. So how could I not pick Pikachu? I've really talked about Pikachu so much. I feel like this is the second time he's been my number 1 pick.
Yeah.
The first one was I won't spoil it. You'll figure it out. So I'll just really quickly say that the design is really smart, just in how there's like lots of different features where you could learn more about the character of Pikachu and then see like what those features really mean. Like hidden little things, like the tail is a lightning bolt. This is an electric type. The cheeks are red because they like store his electricity, kind of like how a rodent might store like food in its cheeks. Yeah. I mean, and that's just my interpretation. Is how I see it.
Makes sense.
And the female Pikachus have heart-shaped tails, and the male Pikachus just have straight tails.
Yeah. Cool.
There's lots of cool parts to it. Mario, Kirby, Samus, Link, they were all in my top 5, but you can't really like build your own Pikachu. Like with Pikachu, you can have like a fast Pikachu. You could have like a strong Pikachu. You could have a Pikachu that knows Volt Tackle. You can have a Pikachu that knows Thunder. You can build your own Pikachu, but there's always one Pikachu that is recognizable, and that is my number 1 pick.
Cool.
That is my sales pitch. All right, what's your number 1 pick?
I feel it. I know.
Sure.
Let's go real quick.
Yeah.
No, you made that real quick.
That's how I do.
Respect. So just to say real quick, going into this, we had some discussion if like this was like protagonists or like main characters or whatnot, because like I might have had a Pokemon on my list. I might have had Pikachu on my list, but I was going into this with the mindset that it was like protagonists, so like the leads of like so it would have been Pokemon Trainer if I wanted to do Pokemon. And obviously I wasn't going to put Pokemon Trainer on my list because they don't even have a name. They don't even have like any characteristics whatsoever. Like they're meant to, like the games aren't about the trainer. It's about the Pokemon.
Right.
But yeah, so that's why I have no Pokemon on my list, but whatever.
I do want to give a shout out to Charizard because I shamefully could not have him. I do believe that he counts as a mascot.
Okay.
Even though, he's no Pikachu, he's a mascot.
He has his own plushies. Plush toys.
Oh my gosh! I mean, many Pokemon have their own plush toys. I just wanted to say to validate my own loyalty to Charizard is that when I graduated college, I told my mom when she asked what kind of cake I wanted, I said I need Charizard on it. So there we go.
Awesome. I don't know. I mean, I don't have much to say about Pikachu because I wasn't prepared for this, but I mean, I kind of expected it, honestly. But yeah, cool. Oh, you know what? I did want to say when you're saying your story about the big Pikachu.
Yeah.
I internalized my thoughts I was on the edge of my seat for your story, so I didn't want to interrupt you.
Oh, good.
But I also had that Pikachu. Well, I think it was my brother's technically, but yeah, that thing was awesome.
Speaking of my graduation, I dressed up that giant Pikachu in my graduation clothes at my graduation party.
Oh, I thought it was like a sort of like play on.
So you have seen that Pikachu?
Yeah, I thought. Oh, that's the one.
That's the one.
Yeah. I had the same one. I thought that was kind of a play on like a Doctor like Pikachu, like Dr. Mario type. I wasn't sure, but okay, that makes sense.
I will explore the backstory into what that was. Maybe another time when we aren't going so long in the podcast.
Okay. Number one, you ready? You already know it. Say it, Sam. Go for it.
What was it? The fairy in Legend of Zelda?
Yes.
Nice.
Yes. Link is my number one, of course. Link is a very intentionally well-rounded character. Not only one of the more intelligent characters in Nintendo's games, also a funny character. Sometimes a bit of a like, I don't know if ignorance the best word, but like I don't know, dim-witted character to an extent, especially like the childhood versions. Just a relatable character, like we've said a couple times on this podcast, like a character that's not supposed to be like strictly a male character, although like Link is clearly male and like is like described as such. He's supposed to look pretty ambiguous, so female gamers can also relate. What else do I have? Has like all of the friends. He's just like friends with literally everyone. Like friends with a freaking scarecrow even. Like everyone loves Link. Has so many different abilities, which is like another very cool, like talking about Kirby is like how Kirby can like steal abilities from enemies. Like Link has like endless abilities. It's like every game they come up with new ones, they recycle old ones, they repurpose old ones. So it's like cool to like, we get different Links in different games, but there's like, it's always like the same. I don't know, like it always feels the same, you know, it's a different Link, but it feels like the same Link. And there's like this continuity yet like new exploration of Link with like each new game, which is so cool in my opinion. There's like, going off that, there's also like different versions of Links we see, like a more like cheery, joyful, like Wind Waker Link versus like a darker, like Majora's Mask or like Phantom Hourglass Link. So that's cool to be able to like, I guess that like delve into these different like experiences of the same character to an extent. Link, like both of us, is a musician.
Yes,
who can
that's
play
true.
any instrument he picks up. How cool is that? I didn't know what an ocarina is before Ocarina of Time, or you know, before I knew that game existed, because I wasn't alive when it came out. But
were you really not?
98. I was born in 99.
Wow.
Yeah, Sam has a few years on me.
I do.
I'm a little young, but
I'll let it slide.
What was I saying? Okay, I want an ocarina now. I don't even know what it is, but I want it.
And
it's
learn
so
all the songs from Ocarina of Time.
Literally, I've looked into it. They're not that expensive. I'll bite it eventually. But in Majora's Mask, there's like so many different instruments that Link plays. So I guess I can relate to Link even more on that level as a fellow musician. Like music is so integral in these Zelda games, which is probably like a pretty big reason why I love the game so much and feel like I can relate to them. Like I said, he also has like an awesome sense of humor, like that Nintendo sense of humor coming into play with a lot of the game. Probably all of the Zelda games. And he's also just a cool dude. Like I said, like everyone loves him. Mm-hmm. He's like saving Hyrule constantly. There's like so much pressure on this guy, but at the same time, he's like playing it cool. I don't know what you're doing right now, Sam, but I don't think I can say it on this podcast either. It'll be our Pulp Fiction secret. Cool. This suitcase, whatever. Stupid joke. Sam is dying laughing right now. We were just talking about Pulp Fiction a little.
That was a very strong silent laugh I just did. I wish you guys could see it. It wasn't just Jake talking to himself. I was dying in the back. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Tweet your guesses at us.
Yes. We're welcome to hear the interpretations.
Okay, yeah, I don't know what else there is to say. Link is awesome. If it was my choice, Link would replace Mario in a heart. Just kidding. I think Mario is a perfect mascot for the Nintendo business, but Zelda has its niche market. It might not ever be as big as Mario or as big as even Kirby, but people who play these Zelda games will die for these Zelda games, and I'm one of them.
I was going to say, I know you are one of them. That's how you can vouch for it. All right. Well, I say we should figure out what the real top 5 is now.
Yep. Okay. This is a long episode. Let's do it.
So to tell you again my top 5, it was Pikachu at number 1, Mario at number 2, Kirby at number 3, Samus at 4, and Link at 5. Right. So I'm going to say we probably aren't going to agree with the place of Link. So it's going to be somewhere in the middle. I know at least Samus is both of our 4.
4. Yeah. Wait, who was your 5?
My 5 was Link.
Oh, okay. Kirby was 3 for you?
Kirby was 3 for me.
Okay. Kirby was my 5.
Okay, so I can accept Kirby at 5.
But no. Well, here's my thing, though.
Okay.
You're going to want to take Luigi off this list, right?
Yes.
Okay. Well, in that case, Link needs to be up there. Top 3.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Well then, so where do you want Mario at? Because I have Mario at 2.
Yeah.
Which is the objective truth.
It's Pikachu's 1.
Right.
What if we do a switcheroo?
Okay, let's hear
it. Okay.
Say it.
Okay. What if we do Mario, Link, Pikachu, Samus, Kirby?
I'll take it.
Yeah?
I'll take it.
Nice.
All right. One more time for the listeners. That is, I forget what you said already.
Number 5, Kirby.
Yes.
Could you go from there? Or you want me to?
Number 5, Kirby. Number 4, Samus. Number 3, Pikachu.
Say it with some gusto.
Number 5, Kirby.
There
Number 4, Samus. Number 3, Pikachu. Number 2, Link.
Yes.
Number 1, Mario.
It's a me, Mario.
It's a me, Mario. Said it with the gusto. All right.
Awesome.
Cool. Well, Jake, would you like to take us out of here?
Yeah, real quick. I guess people who do podcasts like to share their personal handles. I don't use social media much at all, but if you wanna, actually, I have a private account, so I might not even accept your follow request, but it's just my name at Jake Naroden. Sam, what is your socials?
For my Instagram, that is Sam __ Ansa. That's spelled ANSA. At Instagram, you follow me, I may follow you back. And if you specifically want to message me insults on how wrong I am about my ranking, then I will indulge.
I'll piggyback on that. I don't use social media much, but if you want to discuss Nintendo with me, I will discuss the heck out of Nintendo with you. Feel free to slide into my DMs. Okay, go ahead, Sam.
Great. Spell your last name for the people who are unfamiliar with.
Okay. Naroden. Everybody says it a different way. It's Naroden. All right. You said your Instagram handle. Did you imply you have other handles, or is that all you want to share?
I mean, I have a Facebook, but like
just your name. Same here.
Yeah, it's just my name, Sam Ansa, on Facebook.
All right. I guess that's it for the. Well, okay. What are we calling this one then? Well, we could discuss this off there if you want, but just mascots.
Mascots. I think that's a fun word.
Okay, that is a fun one. Top 5 mascots. Thanks for bearing with us. If you have any comments or your discrepancies with our list, feel free to tweet at us at Top 5 Nintendo with the number 5 not spelled out, at Top 5 Nintendo on Twitter. We might have an Instagram and Facebook up at this time. I don't really know by the time this episode comes out, but that's where you could definitely find us. If you want to shoot us an email with like topic ideas or whatever, I don't know, it says top 5 Nintendo pod at gmail.com, top 5 Nintendo pod at gmail.com, top 5 mascots. This was a really fun one. We're about to record another episode, so see you guys then. Bye guys.
Peace out.